Okay, next news topic. Well, this one's quite interesting because Tom was without project this week. So he decided to circle back and take a look at some of the games that have appeared that may or not have received full Digital Foundry coverage, but might have been quite interesting to take a look at because sometimes you see a story there. Now, Tom, Topspin 2K25, you took a look at that.
Yes.
And what's the story there? I mean, basically it's quite weird, isn't it? Because going back a few generations, tennis games were actually huge on consoles.
Yeah,
they're now all
Virtua
but
Tennis.
extinct. Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. Yeah, God, I miss that wave, and somehow we've lost that in recent generations, especially last generation. A major tennis game, a real tentpole release that rallies, if you like, all the fans of the sport and gets them playing something that's genuinely high quality. Topspin 4. Back in 2011 was that game on PS3 and 360. People still love it. It's a fan favorite of the series. If you liked sim-based, more simulation-style tennis games, where Virtua Tennis would be the more arcade side of things. So cut forward 13 years, and we've got a follow-up finally from, I guess, partially the original developers, 2K Czech, who worked on Topspin 4. They have since merged into Hangar 13, and Hangar 13, of course, known for the Mafia 3 and the Mafia remake from 2020. So what I understand is in their interviews with WCCFT Tech, they are working from a proprietary engine, Hangar 13's proprietary engine. And so that points to a whole range of tech which likely overlaps with Mafia's. Not 100% confirmed, but there's a lot of hints in the way the game looks, especially the global illumination of these that's used on the across the characters and across the courts to spill light back up on the characters as you walk around, as the players sort of run around, and especially in shaded areas. So there is some good stuff in here, but it is their first real run at this genre in 13 years. And so it's not, I guess it's the first stab and just like a pitch to tennis fans everywhere to say, do you want more of this? And here's our first attempt. There's things that I don't like. Character models, they look not great. They don't look very true to life.
I'm looking at your footage. I do recognise Roger Federer.
You do recognise Roger Federer. And Roger Federer is at least motion captured officially. They got all his movements implanted into the game, and so he'll look the most authentic of the bunch. There's a good sized roster in there, but the thing is that they had to, first of all, Andy Murray doesn't look anything like he does in real life. His hair is so so full and luscious, and he looks just a whole different facial design. But it is it's a solid first effort. It is a last gen game, I think, that has been scaled up to new consoles, and so the exciting bits about playing on PS5, Series X and S are limited, I think, but it does mean every console runs at 60 frames per second. And they all cap at 30 FPS in cutscenes. And one thing I did find that was quite interesting is that the resolution differences between the current gen systems are not what you'd expect. It's 1440p native on PS5. It's 1620p native on Series X. Series S, 1080p. And I dipped into the older base last gen consoles, the base Xbox One, the One S actually, and that came at 900p. And we can deduce that base PS4 probably runs at 1080p. So yeah, weird difference between PS5 and Series X, 1440p versus 1620p, but every other setting is a match. Series S drops the settings in global illuminations and shadow coverage, but otherwise it's great. It works, runs great. And if you're going last gen, you're really taking a few cuts and hits to visual quality there. And the GI is nerfed again, along with some geometric bits on the court side. But yeah, so that's my sort of tech analysis in a bite-sized summary.
I guess the big question is, Tom, on the Xbox version, did the XSN banner return?
XSN?
Yeah, XSN, Xbox Sports Network. That was part of the original TopSpin. During the early Xbox Live days, and when they were trying to promote like online play for sports games, they had the XSN.
Right? Of course. It was a big deal for Xbox, the original Xbox.
Heck yeah, it was.
One of the first.
TopSpin was part of the XSN, baby.
Man, that brings back memories. Thank you for that, John. That's amazing.
I'm looking at your footage. I do think those 30 FPS cutscenes are unforgivable.
That was
simply unforgivable.
They did the same thing in all the Virtua Tennis games as well.
Yeah,
it's just like a thing that they always do in tennis games for some reason.
God,
30 FPS is. I'm sure they could have done a lot better with the cutscenes. There's nothing to justify it either. It's not like the resolution jumps up or anything. It stays at 1622p on the Series X no matter what. So there might be a dynamic component to it, but it stays where it stays mostly.
I think you've just justified the Xbox power narrative.
Oh no.
1620 versus 1440p.
Yeah, man.
Well done, Tom. Well done.
There's yeah. I've unleashed all hell on the comments.
What about the game? Do you think it's good?
Well, I'm a huge tennis fan, and I loved TopSpin 4. I love Virtua Tennis, as I think a lot of us did growing up with the Dreamcast and the later games as well. Got a particular fondness for Virtua Tennis 1 and 2, but TopSpin 3 and 4 were the games I played with my brother quite a bit, and it's for the more... someone after a more simulation experience, meaning you don't just press X or square to hit the ball and that's that. You hold it and release it to an exact timing. And you'll see in like the footage that there's a very slim window where you can get a perfect shot with like the green bar at the end. And how quickly your gauge goes across and how difficult it is to time getting a green perfect shot is based on your positioning. And the great thing about this game is they've got John McEnroe, going through a lengthy tutorial, which they really recommend you take part in right from the game start, just to understand the basics of tennis and how to reposition yourself after hitting a shot, going back to the center back of the court and avoiding being sort of at an awkward angle for when a ball hits the floor and bounces back up again. You want to be kind of halfway, torso height. So all this stuff plays into how quickly that gauge goes across. Fatigue also plays a part, and a bunch of other factors. But yeah, so it's very well done in that respect. It takes a bit of getting used to. It's a little bit more stiff because your players actually have to accelerate from the spot, and they're a bit sluggish to start. And that means you have to start running in a direction you suspect your opponent will be firing at. But yeah, so it is, there's value to playing Virtua Tennis even today if you want something a bit more immediate. But if you want something a bit more in depth, this is the game for you. Early days again, though, it's still missing a lot of stuff. Djokovic and Nadal are absent, but might come in a future update. So
Tom, if you're somebody like me that really only likes Virtua Tennis, is it worth giving this a shot? Or is it just like did they go too deep on the sim aspect?
I think it's more sim than, it's quite,
okay.
Yeah, if you're a tennis fan, this is great. But I still think it might struggle to appeal to a wider base of players. That's my honest opinion. And I say that like through gritted teeth because I want more people to buy it, and so there'll be a new one. But that's just kind of, they do their best to onboard you though with the tutorials.
John, Super Tennis. Need I say more?
Oh yeah, Super Tennis.
The game.
That's good. That was good. But what about Power Serve 3D Tennis for the PlayStation with the spinning ball cam? That was great. Where like oh my god, that we covered that in the PS1 launch episode, but like that literally has camera angles where like the camera locks to the tennis ball and it continuously rotates in 360 degrees around the ball. That is one of the camera angles.
Oh,
What, sort of like
Christ.
bullet time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like not slow. So imagine trying to play a tennis game with the spinning ball cam.
That sounds
I
remarkable.
don't think it is playable.
I don't think it is.
No.
Yeah. No, that's,
Okay,
we
well,
need to see more tennis games. That's all I'll say. We need to see more. There aren't enough.
I'm going to be curious to see if this does actually do well and therefore warrants a follow-up, because it seems to me that in a sort of unexpected move, a punt has been taken here, a gamble to see whether there is actually a market for these type of games still. So I'm going to be
there's-
curious to see if it will check out.